Hello, Enchanted Ones, and happy Labor Day weekend. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? It is Indian summer, and you know what that means? That means we are coming up upon that great holiday called Samhain. Can you feel the veil is getting thin? Hello, Enchanted Ones, and welcome to Spirit Throw Me a Bone, your spiritual lifestyle channel, where every week we cultivate our connection with the enchanted universe and coax spirit to throw us a bone. I'm Brenda Paradiso, and welcome. I am so glad that you're going to join us tonight. So how do we do this? How do we cultivate connection with the enchanted universe? Well, we do it in three ways. First, we create sacred space to signal to the enchanted universe that we are ready to receive. Second, we flex our enchantment muscles by using the tools of the tarot and the oracle of astrology and other divinatory tools. And we discuss all types of metaphysical and consciousness raising topics. We invite young self out to play, and we approach these topics with a beginner's mind. So let's get started. You guys know the drill. So we're going to create sacred space. So I invite you to settle down right now by your altar if you're not already there. And if you don't have an altar, just make one. Just grab a few sacred items and place them on that table next to you. Maybe light a candle, fire up some incense, whatever it is that helps you connect with spirit. This is your time. This is sacred time. I'll give you about 2 minutes and 30 seconds to be exact, to gather your sacred items and create your altar. And if you don't want to create an altar tonight, just settle back, settle in, and let's get our sacred on. See you on the other side. Welcome back. In perfect love and perfect trust, we create sacred space. And we do this by imagining a blue flame or a blue light. In our mind's eye, we'll create a sacred circle, a virtual sacred circle around all of us. And this circle is an energetic container that holds the energy, the sacred energy within. And it also keeps the distracting energies out. So, we call upon the four directions and the four elements. We call them the watchtowers to hold sentinel around our circle. Again, to keep the distracting energies out and keep the magical energy in. So let's welcome the four directions now. By the air that is her breath, let the eastern winds of curiosity and change open our minds and our hearts as we create sacred space together tonight. Welcome, East. By the fire of her bright spirit, let the southern flame illuminate the freedom of our unique expression of faith and ignite within us the will to know the divine in whatever form she may present herself. Welcome, South. And by the waters of her living womb, let the western rivers flow with compassion for ourselves and others as we navigate the rise and fall of the tides of deep self and the all that is. And by the air that is her body, let the land and all that grows upon it sustain us with our necessary connection to the realm of matter, Mother Earth, and her sacred cycles. Welcome, Mom. As above, so below, we are sacred space. Now, let's convene with the celestial gods and goddesses. Hello, friends. Let us see who is with us tonight. Got lots of comments here. I'm so excited. Hello, Miss Elaine. So glad you're here. Hello there, Aaron. Clearing your space. Got your notebook, crystals, and tarot deck out and ready to go. Hello, Miss Ruby. Oh, hello. I miss you, girl. Hi, Christina. Thank you. Thank you. I got a new camera and I got a new ring light. So now I have 2 cameras and I'm all excited tonight because I got my new stuff. Hello, Miss Ann. Well, thank you, Ruby. Thank you. So welcome, guys. How was your week? How was your enchanted week? I want to hear all about it. Let's see here. I'm ready to hear what you guys have to tell me about this week. It's working great. The week is working great. Oh, the live stream is working perfect. Yeah, well, last week was an adventure, and the week before that was an adventure. So, fingers crossed, the tech gods will smile on us tonight, right? So, if you don't have your birth chart, you guys know that you can go to my website and get a copy, right? Because one of the things that we do is, as our regular folks know, we go through what's going on astrologically and we check it out by looking at everybody's specific chart based on their rising sign. So if you don't know your rising sign, then you probably don't have a natal chart or may not have ever had a professional astrology reading. But in any case, if you would like to know your rising sign, order a free natal chart off of my website, and then you will know your rising sign. The rising sign is a sign that's rising on the eastern horizon at the moment you were born. It's also called the ascendant. And I have a little surprise for you guys in just a little bit. I put together a real short mini astrology lesson. I can't wait to show it to you. In any case, so I'm going to show you how to get to my website to order your free chart. There you go. So, let me just get my mouse over here. There you go. So up here, I would appreciate it if you would subscribe to my email list. And then, so when you do that, it takes you to a page that will remind you then to order your free natal chart right here under products. And you just click on this and you put in here your birth data, the time of birth, date, time, and location of birth. And we know that the time is really important, right? That's how you calculate the rising sign. So, yes, free. Just get a free natal chart. I'll email it to you right away. As soon as I get the little message that you've ordered one. It's really easy. I'll just send you a free natal chart and you'll have your rising sign. So that way, when you come back next week, you'll know what your rising sign is and I can read for you too. Okay. This is your surprise, guys. Okay, so this is your Astrology 101, the fixed stars of the Zodiac, the constellations of the Zodiac. There they are, all listed right there. And the 7 wandering stars are the planets. So, I speak of the celestial gods and goddesses as gods. The planets are gods and goddesses. And the signs are ruled by planets. Aries by Mars, Taurus by Venus, Gemini by Mercury, Cancer by the Moon, Leo by the Sun, Virgo ruled by Mercury, Libra ruled by Venus, Scorpio ruled by Mars, Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter, Capricorn ruled by Saturn, Aquarius ruled by Saturn, Pisces ruled by Jupiter. Now, you guys might notice that I didn't list Uranus, Pluto, and Neptune. I did not list the outer planets because I have begun to really appreciate traditional astrology, Hellenistic astrology. And even though I studied modern astrology and practiced modern astrology for 30 years, I now really almost exclusively study and use the Hellenistic techniques when reading for others and myself as well. I will use the outer planets, Uranus, Pluto, Neptune, when I'm doing predictive work. But generally, if I'm just reading someone's natal chart, I don't put in the outer planets anymore. I might at the very end, but I try really hard just to read with the traditional planets. And I do that because I have found that I resonate a lot more with ancient astrology because it's far more spiritual than modern astrology. Modern astrology focuses more on like the psychology of the individual, and the birth chart is like all about that person and their intrapsychic self, whereas ancient astrology is about the person's karma, you know, everything in their life, not just like what's going on in their psyches. So, and the ancient astrologers really believe that the planets have consciousness and that they are gods and goddesses, and they are messengers for the divine. So, what are we talking about when we talk about a natal chart or a birth chart or the horoscope? The natal chart is a picture of the sky at the exact moment that you were born. And it's a map of one's karmic path. So when I talk about natal placements, we're talking about where the planets are the day that you were born. Okay, so that's in your they are in your natal chart, placed in your natal chart. Whereas transits are the movement of the planets out in the sky at a particular time. Okay, that's different than the natal planets, which always stay the same. And then the aspects are the angular relationships between planets. And now, so this could be between like the planets within the chart itself, or angular relationship between a transiting planet out in the sky and a planet in your chart. So here it lists the specific aspects, and the tense ones, the ones that create some tension, are the square, the opposition, and the conjunction. The conjunction being when two planets are like right on top of one another in the same same zodiacal degree. A square is a 90-degree angle, opposition is a 180-degree angle. Trine and sextile is 120 and 60 degrees. So I'm going to show you in just a bit. We'll refer back to an actual chart, and that will help you understand. But, you know, the chart is like a wheel, right? Divided up into 12 portions. So when we're talking about the angular relationship, it's, you know, within that 360-degree circle. So the 12 houses in natal astrology, houses 1 through 6, these are topics, okay, in areas of life or like the stage, basically. First house, body, appearance, character. Second house, personal finances, money, possessions, livelihood. Third house, siblings, relatives, short distance travel, communications. Fourth house, family, ancestry, home, roots, father. Fifth house, children, romance, and pleasurable pursuits, creative arts. Sixth house, health, injuries, job, daily routine, and regiment, servants. Houses 7 through 12. Seventh house, marriage, partnerships of all kinds. Eighth house, death, inheritance, money received from others. Ninth house, foreign travel, religion, philosophy, higher learning, and belief systems. 10th house, profession, reputation, what one does out in the world. 11th house, friends, associates, Groups 12th house sorrows, afflictions, the hidden, self undoing, transcendence. So, modern or modern significators of the 7 traditional planets. You also are probably familiar with these definitions, astrological definitions. The sun, identity, will, and mission. The moon, emotions, feelings, and conditioned responses. Mercury, intellect, speech, learning, and reason. Venus, attraction, love, and values. Mars, impulse, actions, and desires. Jupiter, belief systems, philosophy, ethics, and expansion. Saturn, organization, order, authority, discipline, responsibility, and limitations. So, we're going to wrap it up with the Holy Trinity of astrology. The ascendant is the character, or the rising sign is the character of the person. And the moon is the stage or the environment that one is born into. And the sun is the plot, like what the person is supposed to be doing in this incarnation. So there you have it. How do you like that? Astrology 101 in 5 minutes-ish. 5 minutes-ish. I don't know how long that was. Okay, so what I wanted to try to navigate to now is this. Okay. Now, all right, I want to show you, just be a little bit patient with me if you could. All right, so if, okay, so this is, why is all this on here? I don't want this here. Go away. Boom. There we go. So here's the horoscope. Here's the chart, right? And then, so see all these signs, the glyphs are for the signs around the edges there. And then you see the houses are numbered, right? Little pieces of the pie. Okay, now this is interesting because the signs of the zodiac, you know, the constellations in the sky, they move in clockwise motion. So let me see here, exit full screen so I can show you. Right, so if you move it ahead in time, you'll see that the signs are moving in clockwise motion. So this is what we call the fixed stars. And the ancient astrologers called the signs of the zodiacs, or yeah, the constellations of the zodiacs and the stars that make up each constellation. They called it the fixed stars because their motion is fixed from the perspective of Earth. It's very predictable. There's no like variation in its movement. It's clockwise. And so they equated the movement of the fixed stars with spirit, the eternal, right? There's no beginning and no end. Whereas the 7 wandering stars, the planets, you know, the planets have these crazy, they all have their own orbits. They go forwards and backwards and sideways, and they just wander around the cosmos. So they're called the 7 wandering stars. And so the planets are associated with the realm of matter, more so than spirit. Okay, so the planets, the gods, you know, the celestial gods and goddesses, are messengers from the divine to us here on Earth. They are the wandering stars. And the Indians call them the grabbers, right? Because, you know, you get grabbed by, you know, whatever message Saturn has for you, you know, when you have a Saturn transit, or you get grabbed by Venus, you know, when she has a message for you. So if you punch in the planets here, I will show you that the 7 wandering stars, we're going to add those. There they are. Okay, now this is interesting. So if you look closely, you can see that they go in the exact opposite direction. Go away. All right. So on the outside, see the planets moving on the outside? They're going counterclockwise. So again, the planets are associated with the realm of matter, you know, like we humans live in the realm of matter, as opposed to the fixed stars that are spirit and eternal. That's just a little bit of the philosophy of the ancient astrologers for you. Okay, where did I want to go with this? So let's check in with everybody, find out how things have been going. Oh my gosh, I gotta change my camera, guys. Here we go. Hold on. I've been talking and you haven't been able to see me. Ta-da, here I am. All right, let's get back here. There we go. I want just one chart on the screen here. There. And I want this. There we go. So this is our chart tonight, guys. At 8:30, the moon in Taurus, lovely Taurus. Aries rising, lots of energy. And of course the sun in Virgo. So let's go here. So we're in the sun. The sun is in Virgo. Feminine earth sign ruled by Mercury for a couple more weeks. All right, so this is what's been going on, guys. Some of it we talked about last week. We had that full moon last week, so I'm interested in hearing from you folks. How did the full moon in Pisces work out for you early last week? You know, like I think the full moon was the night of our last episode, wasn't it? And so this full moon, it was a Pisces full moon, but it was very much colored by this Venus opposing Saturn thing going on. You know, like the planet of love opposed by, you know, mean old, grumpy old Saturn, you know, who wants to sort of rain on the parade a bit of Venus. But also, you know, you may have found that in relationships you were doing a little bit of work on relationship type communications or issues. You know, Saturn says get real about that stuff, Venus. So, you know, it could be positive in that way. So I'm interested in hearing from you. What was that full moon like for you last week? Did anybody have any, you know, things that were like, oh my gosh, the full moon. You knew it was the full moon because what? Did anybody have any full moon experiences? The energy was rough for you. You know, it depends. Sometimes full moons are, you know, it really depends on where it strikes you in your chart, where the full moon hits your chart, you know, and where that Venus Saturn thing was going on. It could have been like in, you know, your house of relationships, you know, you don't know, which would like make it even more challenging. Could have been in your house of money, you know, so that could have been like, okay, you know, Saturn says you can't spend any money on pretty things this week, that type of thing. But, you know, the full moon does bring things to a head and shines its light on whatever is going on, and it can just reveal things, right? Very cool, Christina. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad you're here tonight. Oh, so you couldn't sleep during the full moon? That's not unusual. I hear like a lot of people have trouble sleeping, you know, just because it is a lot of energy to deal with. Plus, it's shining bright through your window, right? It's like almost you feel like there's lights on outside if, you know, if it's not a cloudy night. Uh, What else we got here? What do you say? Energy was a bit rough at the beginning, but you released a lot of emotions. So yeah, that could definitely be Pisces type full moon. You know, Pisces is very watery and um, emotional kind of energy, very sensitive. Venus opposing Saturn, you know, that, like I said, that's kind of, that can be kind of a downer in some ways. Okay, so, and then Venus squared Mars also last week, which can just bring up arguments in relationships, or it, you know, and it doesn't have to just be arguments. I mean, not even arguments, but just some tension. But it's also could be, it's, you know, it can also be that kind of sexual tension that can be fun. Um, so it doesn't have to be bad. Like, you know, in charts where in synastry, which is when you take one person's chart and look at it like in comparison to another person's chart, in synastry between two people who are in a relationship, if there are Venus Mars contacts, it usually means that there's a lot of attraction there. So yeah, Venus square Mars can be sort of titillating in that way. But that was last week, guys. And Mercury went into Libra on the 5th. So Mercury and Libra wanted to smooth all that out. We talked about that last week, how Mercury was going to come in and be the harmonizer for all that Venus square Mars and Venus opposing Saturn stuff. So today Venus moved into Leo. No longer in Cancer. No longer in whiny Cancer. Venus has taken her throne. She has taken her throne in Leo. And so Venus in Leo is fun and wants to have a party and really wants to be admired and is generous and, of course, dramatic and just fiery. You know, Leo being a fire sign. Okay, so here's the big news. Mars stations retrograde. Now, what the heck date was that? I think it was the 13th. Did I miss? Why didn't I put that date down here? No, it's not the 13th. I have this date somewhere. Where did it go? Oh, did I leave my stuff upstairs? I think I did. I think I did. Joseph, if you hear me, up there is my purple book that has my notes in it. It should be right there. I think it's in the bedroom. He's watching. He'll go get it for me or bring it down to me if he hears me. The purple book, because it's got my notes in it, because I don't see it here. I can't remember, but it's this week. So Mars stations retrograde. So you guys know what a retrograde. You hear about Mercury retrograde, right? Everybody knows about Mercury retrograde. Like, oh my God, Mercury's retrograde. Well, Mars retrograde, same deal, basically. You know, the planet moves forward, and then when it stations, that means it comes to a complete stop, and then it'll turn around and go in the other direction. Now, of course, the planets don't actually really do that. It's like an optical illusion, which I don't want to get into explaining, but for all intents and purposes, you can say that it's moving forwards and backwards. And so when Mars goes retrograde, what does that mean? It means that Martian energy of like going forward, going gung-ho, you know, like taking all that initiative, all that energy, it's really slowed down when the planet is in retrograde motion. And it's also a way that Mars will go back over some of the things that maybe were started over the past several weeks. You know, Mars stops and goes backwards to like sort of review, you know, retrograde, review, revise. So, and and he's just not as cantankerous, I don't think, when he's in retrograde motion. The god of war, you know, is Mars. And then Jupiter is going to station and go direct. So, you know, Jupiter is among all those planets that have been piled up in Capricorn, giving us such trouble all summer, all like the last 18 months. You know, like 2020's been the cosmic shit show. But Jupiter, in addition to being in its fall, being in the sign of Capricorn, which it's not comfortable there, Jupiter does not want to be in Saturn's house. In addition to being in Capricorn, Jupiter has been retrograde, you know, so he's really been pretty handicapped over the last several weeks. So now he's going direct, okay, and so he will eventually, but he moves slowly because he's, you know, one of the big outer planets. Eventually he'll just go right on out of Capricorn and into Aquarius, where he'll be a little bit more comfortable. It's still ruled by Saturn, but it's better than Capricorn, I think. But that's not going to happen. Again, my notes are upstairs until I think it was May. So Jupiter's going to be direct throughout the rest of the year for sure, and into next year. So that'll be a little bit better, I think. At least he'll be able to express himself in a more forthright manner. So there we go. What else we got going on here? What are we saying here? Now there are two positive things I'm looking forward to regarding friendship and family. Good. Good, 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 good. Okay. All right, let's get to the rising sign. So guys, if you know your rising sign, put it in the comments, okay? So I make sure I don't forget anybody. We'll just take a quick spin through everything here. I want to see some different planets on here. I do want to pop in the outer planets here. Whoop, how did that happen? Okay, that's not what I wanted. Hold on. Here, this is what I wanted. Over here. There. Here we go. Okay. All right, guys. So I know we have Aaron, your Scorpio rising, correct? Ruby, I have read for you before. What is your rising sign? I think I've got you in my phone. Let's see here, Ruby. And again, guys, if you know your rising sign, please put it in there in the comments. And Christina, do you know your rising sign? Didn't I read for you before, Ruby? I thought I did. Oh, I don't have you in here. I haven't. Really? I thought I read for you, Ruby. You're not in here. Oh well. Okay. I'm gonna, oops, I didn't mean to show you guys this. This is what tells me when I'm offline, which I didn't see last time. Wait a minute. Let me get back to where I was. Sorry, guys. I'll get there. I'll get there. There we go. Okay, so maybe another ruby. Okay, so yeah, you look just like the Ruby that I felt. So Ruby, where are you from? Are you local here? How did you find us? Are you like a totally new person? Yay! Everybody, welcome Ruby. Oops. Whoa. Sorry, guys. Go away. Go away. You don't want to watch all my texts. Here we go. There we go. Um, yeah, so Ruby, tell us where you're from. Oh, okay. So how did you hear about Spirit Throw Me a Bone? And so you don't know your rising sign either? Darn. You guys say hi to Ruby. Welcome, Ruby. Okay, so we have Taurus. We have Scorpio. We have, who else? Is that it? We don't know Christina's. We don't know Ruby's. Ruby, I was about to read for you from my other friend Ruby's chart. Had it been in my phone, I would have been reading for you. I would have been reading based on that. Don't know your rising sign. Okay, so Ruby, go to my website and get your free chart and come back next week and you'll know your rising sign. And I can read for you. Yay, yes. Ruby is brand spanking new. Oh, I see. Okay. So you're a friend of Anne's. Okay. Cheryl, hey girl. Hey. Cheryl, we're talking astrology, obviously. I don't know how long you've been with us, but have you ever had your chart done? Do you know what your rising sign is? You guys say hi to my friend Cheryl too, okay? It's the first time she's been with us, I believe. All right, well, let's just start reading, guys. All right, we're going to read for Aries rising because I know someone watching who has Aries rising. So, what are we talking about? We are talking about how Venus now is in Leo. So Venus, see, if you have Aries rising, Venus is in Leo in your fifth house, which is a fun house for Venus. Actually, the fifth house is called the joy of Venus, um, because you know the fifth house is the house of pleasure and all things creative and children. So that's a very lovely place for Venus to be spending some time here over the next few weeks. And also, you know, we're talking about these Capricorn planets that have been causing everybody such headaches for the last 18 months. If you have Aries rising, they've been in your 10th house, your house of career. So, you know, that's challenging a lot of, um, you know, challenges and changes, particularly when Mars would come along and square all those planets or something like that. Um, so, yeah, and the 10th house is an angular house. So, you know, the Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter all up there. in your 10th house means 2020 has really been shining a light. Those planets have been active in your career house in 2020. What else? Mars, the planet Mars is in Aries for a long time because remember, it's going forwards and backwards. It's retrograde, it's direct, it's spending an inordinate amount of time in Mars. I mean, in Aries because of that retrograde motion. So the first house is the house of, a person's character, their physical body, how they kind of go out into the world and say, hey, this is who I am. Love it or leave it, or like it or not, or, hey, look at me. That's the first house. So Mars there, just means like a really active time that one is really putting themselves out there. Okay, so that is a couple things for Aries rising. What do we got next? We're going to go forward here. Come back here. Not moving very fast, is it? Oh, I don't want that. Good. 2 months. Why is it doing that? Hold on. There. Go away. There we go. Let's try this now. There we go. Taurus rising. Okay, there, there is that Mars still hanging out in your 12th house, Taurus rising girls. I guess it's just you, Anne. Who else was a Taurus rising? Anne and Kathleen. Kathleen's not with us tonight, I don't think. She must be having maybe she's out of town or something on this holiday weekend because she has been regularly with us. Okay, so Anne, here we go. That Venus is there in your 4th house down here at the bottom. So have a party, girl. We talked about this last week, right? Have you been, well, when did it go into? Hold on, let me go. Just check something real quick. Whoop. Nope. Sorry, guys. I was trying to get back to that. I was trying to get back to my list there that had things I wanted to talk about astrologically, but I didn't find it. Hold on, I'm going to find it right now. Here we go. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Here we go. Right. Okay. So, yeah. What else do I want to talk about? Okay, the Mars stationing. We talked about that. So it's stationing at 28 Aries in your 12th house. And then Jupiter is going to go to direct in Capricorn, Venus, and yeah. So, does anybody have any Mars stories? And Mars in your 12th. We've talked about this. Have you noticed anything Martian in your 12th house? Like, now that it's going retrograde, I've talked about how Mars in your 12th house really may encourage you to kind of get out of the hustle and bustle of life and spend some time kind of away from just the distractions of life, and go to a place where you can be more contemplative. I would think with Mars being retrograde, um, it would be even more so that way. Have you felt that? You might feel that even a little bit more, and the desire just to kind of, hide away and um, basically spend time alone. Have you been feeling that with this Mars, 12th house Mars? There we go. All right. So, um, let's look at Scorpio rising. Okay. So have you been busy at work, Aaron, or just working hard, like at anything, like school? Do you feel like things have been kind of uh, just a lot of hard work recently? With Mars in the sixth house, often that's what he brings. Um, or maybe like some focus on health issues. Like, have you started a new health regimen, or have you had any concerns about health issues? Um, that's also sixth house Mars. Aaron, Uranus, the revolutionary planet, the planet of change and the unexpected, has been in your seventh house for quite a while. Really doing a number on sort of your relationships, your one-on-one relationships, bringing you new insights about relationship issues, unpredictable, kind of maybe people in and out of your sphere, your social sphere, in and out of your life unexpectedly, in terms of like partnerships and those kind of interests. Venus up there in your 10th, Venus and Leo in the 10th. That can be good for, like, if you want to be on the stage in any way, not just like career, but being out in public with Venus up there. That's good. You it really Venus up in the 10th, it's like people will notice you as somebody like that, is Venusian. Like, so you make a good impression with Venus in the 10th house. And yeah, all those Capricorn planets have been in your third house of siblings, house of like short range travel, communication, teaching. No, not really. I had too much time with the pandemic to chill. I was out of the hustle and bustle, but now I'm back to the wacky schedule. Well, school started, right? I guess your kids are at home though, right? Because nobody's at school, are they? Around here? Aaron says people have been very in and out. Yep. A lot of changes with relationships with Uranus there. It moves very slowly. The thing is that when those outer planets have these transits in our charts, because they move so slowly, the you know the process is very transformative over a period of time, a long period of time. Uranus, Pluto, Neptune, Saturn, and Jupiter as well, definitely, but really Uranus and Pluto, deep change. So, astrologers talk about how transits um, bring about the natal promise, meaning that, if you've got certain, you know, the natal promise is okay. So if the natal chart is a map of our karma, right? And then if transits, the planets out in the sky right now, come along and trigger certain natal points. Remember, natal placements are the places that the planets are in your natal chart, and they stay that, they're always there. That's always your natal chart. But transits move and then trigger those natal placements. So when those outer planets do that, it they are revealing the natal promise. They're shaking up those natal planets and encouraging the karma to reveal itself, right? Meaning just basically like events will happen and changes will happen and transformation will happen. The natal promise will reveal itself as a result of those longer outer planet transits. Does that make sense? So, Aaron, so lots of stuff going on with your siblings and travel. So, yeah, third house stuff, right? All those Capricorn planets have been in there forever. Jupiter will be moving out of there next year and into your fourth. That'll be good. Be better. Yes, they're at home, but I have lots of work lately. But you have to homeschool them, though, right? Your kids? So, Ruby, so you must know your sun sign at least, right? Let us know your sun sign so we know a little bit more about you. And anything else you want to tell us about you. Just let us know in the comments. Let us know what your sun sign is. Yes. Okay. I was trying to think how he might have shown up for any of us. Let's go look at him now. There he is. So remember what we said about the magician last week? That he has all of his tools, all of the tools at his disposal. He's all four um, elements are represented there, and the four suits in the tarot deck are represented: the cups, the pentacle, the wand. He's got the wand in his hand. Cups, pentacle, wand, and the sword is laying on the table there. So the magician then can use all of those tools to, work his magic, be the alchemist. It's about channeling. Wasn't that the key word that we read last time? Channeling, channelization. So I'm thinking like magician, like things sort of just coming together in a way that, things just sort of fall into place. Maybe that's how the magician might show up. The archetype of the magician might show up that way. I want to remind myself what the book said about the magician. Aaron, you weren't. I don't think you were here with us last week when we pulled this card. What about you, Anne? Did the magician show up for you? Even like, I guess a magician could be a guy, like a man, or just not even just a man, but someone who comes, a person. Maybe it's not you. It's just a person that is like the magician showing up in your life. Gee, I don't know why it's hard to read. Maybe because it's dark. I like it dark though. Except I can't read very well. The magician is the agent, the wise channel of consciousness. The consciousness flows two ways. Definitely need like a something to read with. I don't want to turn that light on. I guess I can. So the traditional meaning is strength of will, originality, and creativity. Could represent a mediator or someone who needs a mediator. It's also a unifying card. All the major symbols, like I said, are gathered in one place. And yeah. A mutual movement takes place through the magician, the dark synthesizing powers of the psyche rush to meet the bright analytical powers of the mental. Light makes materiality aware of itself, and the dark gives spirits something to be aware of. Okay. Right. I want to see. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh. Jeez. I was worried there. It looked like we were offline. Yep. Still online. All right, so what are you going to tell me about the magician, Aaron? Yeah, I'd say so for sure. Someone's been helping and supporting me and kind of guiding me this week. Well, that's lovely. All right, guys, so you ready to pull a card for this week? Are you ready? Are you ready? Where do I have them? We're just going to pull from the major arcana. Let me go get it. And yeah, let me go get it. I guess I should do something about this light. I guess it really does need to be a little bit lighter. I kind of like it dark though, but it's hard to read unless it's on my computer screen. Like if I'm reading a book, it's pretty much impossible. Okay, so I have the major arcana here. So Ruby, do you use the tarot at all? Are you familiar with the tarot? Do you have a deck? Is this new to you? Just curious. Let me know in the comments. And Christina, if you are still here, let me know if you're still here, Christina. Got 5 people with us. Gosh, today was such a gorgeous day in Northern Virginia. It was absolutely beautiful. It's like bittersweet though this time of year, you know, because it's like, you know, the summer is ending. And those last days of Indian summer are so sublime. Okay. So you guys thinking about our card? This is going to be our card for the whole week. I'm still shuffling them. Okay, we play a little game. Remember, I've got the major arcana here only the majors. So that's what, 22 cards? And so the game we play, right, is we try to guess what card we're going to pull. See who can guess. Okay? So if you want to guess, put it in the comments what your guess is before I pull the card. Okay? You know, the card that just popped in my mind was the Death card. I don't know why, but I'm going to go with that one. That's going to be my guess. It just like popped in my head like that. So I'm listening. Okay. Come on, Anne. What's your guess? What card are you going to guess? How about you, Elaine? You want to guess? Because I know you got your cards. Do you have them with you right now? You can look at them and maybe guess which one I'm going to pull. Okay, so my guess is the Death card. I don't know why. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Okay, I have my notes that I wanted earlier. What was it that I was trying to figure out a date for? Oh, for when Mars went retrograde. That's right. What was that date? On the 9th. What's that, Tuesday? 6, 7. Wednesday? Mars stations retrograde at 28. Now, here's the thing. My sun is at 27 degrees of Aries. So, you know, when a planet stations, it stands still. If it stations within like 3 degrees of one of your planets, particularly like the sun or any planet in like an angular house, 1, 4, 7, 10, you definitely will notice that there's some type of event that will occur. So I'll let you know next week what Mars stationing on my sun is like. Actually, I should be, you know, like that energy I should be feeling like right now for like a whole week probably. All right, so we're going to pull this card. Everybody thinking? Thinking? And did you ever guess? No, you didn't ever guess. What card? My guess is the Death card. I'm going to go pull it. This is going to be our card for the whole week. All right, here we go. I'll do it on the altar. Okay, so my intuition's not working tonight so hot because it wasn't the Death card, thank goodness, right? You guys know the Death card is not literally death always. I mean, it could be, but it just means endings, you know, death to something. Where did it go? I just had it. Oh, here it is. So, okay, last chance to guess which card it is, guys. Because I know, but you don't know yet. Only I know. Ready? Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. The Lover's card. Look how awesome my camera is, guys. Look at the autofocus. The Lovers. We pulled that a couple weeks ago, I think, didn't we? So, what do we know about the Lovers, guys? Well, obviously cooperation, right? It's a sweet card. It can also imply choice, because it's got, anytime any of the tarot cards have like two things represented, it often means that there's some type of a choice. I'm going to get out of the astrology. All right, I want to look up, I'm going to cheat here and look up Keen Tarot for the Lovers, and I'll read it to you. So I think that's probably about my favorite website for like card interpretations is Keen Tarot, Keen. I also like Biddy Tarot, Biddy, but not as much as Keen. I think Biddy Tarot is kind of Pollyannish sometimes. Wait a minute. So I'm just looking here. Not a bad card to have for a whole week. The Lover's card. Okay, let me hold it up again for you. Where did it? Here. As I'm reading it, I'm going to hold it for you. Hold on. Actually, you know what I can do? Hold on. I'll put it up on the screen. Because, all right, where'd they go? Because I had, oh man, I had all these cards arranged in a folder here for you. And now I'm not finding, oh, it's in the overlays. Hold on. Major Arcana. Here we go. Go away, Magician. Come back, Lovers. Here. What? Okay, guys. I'm trying to get him on the screen here. Why isn't it working? I'm doing it. I'm getting it. Doesn't want to go on there. Oh, that's why. Well, it's not letting me move them around, but there you go. Well, you can see them. Okay, so now I'm going to read. Let's see them. The card is divided into a top and bottom. On the bottom half stands a man and a woman. They are naked before the world. Da 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 da. It's just describing it. Okay, here. The couple illustrated here are Adam and Eve. It is the moment that they are being told about the tree of knowledge of good and evil. They know not to eat its fruit. All is perfect as the radiant energy. The angel gives this card a glowing color throughout. We know that the snake will strike and that the couple will be shamed into putting on some clothes. They will be cast out of the Garden of Eden and propagate the human race. This serves as a metaphor for all relationships. The moment that we decide to enter into a union with someone else, all seems perfect. But eventually we discover flaws that might have been unacceptable were we to have seen them prior to getting together with this person. Adam and Eve are the metaphor for every couple. The relationship starts off pure, falters, and then the best must be made out of it after the initial bliss is gone. Well, that's kind of a buzzkill too, right? When the Lover's card lands in the present position, you are palpitating with passion over a budding partnership. If you are alone or lonely, this card in this position will end that in a hurry. You might already know this partner, but regardless, the power and influence you will have on each other shall be transformative over all aspects of your life. You will be able to look back on the present day as a before and after scenario. Well, there you go. So, what's it saying? If you don't have a partner, you're going to find one. And if you do have a partner, then the honeymoon's over. It seems like that's what it said to me. Well, we'll find out. We'll find out. Okay. Are you guys talking to me? I'm going to check my comments again. Ooh. I like that card, says Aaron. Well, you should like it with that Venus in your 10th house, right? So, it's a good time for you to be out and about, girl. Okay, guys. Want to hear a story? Want to hear a bedtime story? We're going to open the circle right after I get done telling this story, okay? I wonder if I should change my camera now. Yeah. I think I'll go ahead and change my All right, on my different mic now. And I think I'll sit here and tell the story. And then we're going to go right over and open up the circle. And then we'll be done, guys, for tonight. And thank you. Actually, you know what? First, let me do this. Have you subscribed to my channel yet on YouTube? If you do, I'd love for you to, first of all, if you would please. If you enjoyed hanging out with me tonight and everybody, and the other folks who are here, please subscribe to the channel on YouTube. And if you push that little bell, it'll give you a notice when I go live. And then also on my Facebook page, on the Spirit Throw Me a Bone Facebook page, STMB. If you haven't yet, go please and like that page too. I would appreciate it. And all right, so back here. All right, I'm gonna tell the story, and then we'll open the circle. And this is a story that was handed down to me by an awesome storyteller and an inspirational storyteller named Roy Brown Eagle. Rainbow Crow, gliding across the treetops of the spirit realm, heard the Great Spirit calling, "Dear one," for that she always called him, "Dear one, I need you to go into the dream and witness something for me." Straight away, Rainbow Crow flew to his secret cleft in the mountain, into it and through it, and into the dream. And there he saw the weeping woman by the river in a dense mist. And because Rainbow Crow saw in a sacred way, he saw a stirring in the mist, hovering about her. With a start, she saw it too, but she could not make out the vision. Sophia, for that was her name, Sophia followed the stirring up the bluff, into the forest, to a clearing with a rough-hewn stone altar at the center. Sophia thought she heard a sound from the stirring. Was that a child? Was it beckoning to her? She could not make out the word. The stirring hovered above a black stone. Stepping forward, Sophia felt a chill, for she knew what it was before she ever saw the word inscribed upon it: fear. Somehow, Sophia knew she must somehow lift the dreadful object up and onto the altar, but she could not budge it. Then she heard the word clearly: Mother. With a thrill and a strength she had never known before, Sophia heaved the stone up from the earth and placed it on the marble altar. In that moment, a white thunderclap came down from the sky, struck the stone, and transformed it. Now it shone luminous white with the silvery inscription, Courage. The stirring hovered above a second stone, Doubt. Without hesitation, Sophia lifted the stone and gently placed it on the altar beside Courage. In that moment, a yellow shaft of sunlight struck the stone and transformed it into Conviction. Sophia lifted a third stone to the healing powers of the sky, and the soft glow of Grandmother Moon gently transformed it to self-love. 3 stones of beauty now lay upon Sophia's bejeweled marble altar. And in that moment, she recognized her child. Sapentia, she cried as she threw her arms around him. Sapentia, I should not have let you go to Spain with your father. The boy replied, The Hidalgo is not my father. Sophia said, But he is, for I have known no other. The boy replied, You have known the sky. And because Rainbow Crow saw in a sacred way, he saw a pure rain pour down upon Sophia. And laughing, she brought many sons and daughters forth. Laughing, singing, playing, dancing, these children, they learned and they taught and they prophesied and they built a world where their sons and daughters dwelt. And that world shone radiant like the Great Spirit herself. And that world was called Sophia. This Rainbow Crow witnessed for the Great Spirit because he saw in a sacred way. Okay, guys, thank you for joining me tonight. We're going to open the circle now. And because when we cast the circle, we went in clockwise motion, when we open the circle, we always go in the opposite direction. And we'll start with the last of the elements that we called. We'll start with the north and work our way back around. And we're going to thank them for joining us in our circle tonight and guarding our circle. By the earth that is her body, thank you, North. By the waters of her living womb, thank you, West. By the fire of her bright spirit, thank you, South. And by the air that is her breath, thank you, East. As above, so below. The circle is open, but unbroken. So, go forward into enchantment, my dear friends. Don't forget to watch out and pay attention to the enchanted universe and what she has to offer you this week. Remember that the card we pulled was the Lovers. Let's see how the Lovers show up this week for us. Right? So we will see you next week. Same enchanted time, same enchanted channel. Thank you again for joining me tonight. And until next time, be well, be true, be sacred, be you.
You are to me a most precious stellar partner, dancing love's geometry with me again and again and again and again. Everywhere you go, I'm right here with you. Everywhere you go, I'm right here with you. In case you needed to know if I was here, I'm right here with you. We're like the stars in the sky. They are made of light, and just like you and I, they are closely tied. We're of the same constellation. That's how we make it through the night. I'm right here with you. We made a vow, kept it right from the start, to help extract the poison from our medicine hearts. Oh, I just wanna thank you for doing your part. I promise you that I'll always do mine. So go climb your mountain and know your name. The call you answer springs from the same flame I do. And as you take your leap, just know they fall, they fly into the deep. I'm right here with you. Everywhere you go, I'm right here with you. Everywhere you go, I'm right here with you. In case you needed to know if I was here, I'm right here